So really glad to be presenting here. Hi everyone, I'm Ranadeep Singh, and today I'm going to talk about my 2-week-old startup called HyPer.ai. So what we do is generate hyper-realistic and hyper-personalized AI-generated communication. That includes email and LinkedIn messages and more. So the problem we're trying to tackle is sales outreach. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Specifically, recruiting outreach is roughly 20 billion, and B2B sales is 6 trillion. And what we want to do is use advanced AI models to actually generate these personalized emails at the speeds of cold email and get the callback rates of personalized emails. So the team that we're 3 people, all MS in artificial intelligence students, right over there at SCS. We worked at several companies, some B2B facing, some consumer facing like Red Bull. And we have years of experience and we want to build this solution to solve this. We personally faced this while actually reaching out to companies for job search, where we realized that whenever you reach out to someone on LinkedIn, if you add a personalized note while sending out a connection request, it drastically increases the chances of getting that request approved. Whereas if you don't and you just want to send out multiple, you don't get as many requests. So if we have an AI tool that can do it for us, that'll be awesome. And so let's talk about the actual problem we're trying to solve. Like our core customer here, what we're first tackling are the recruiters. So let's have an example of Ruben, the recruiter. So he uses an email automation software with templates, and he writes his own emails for certain cases when he has to follow up with candidates. Like, hey, that sounds good, or just reaching out to you. And he wishes he could spend more time actually connecting candidates, looking at their profiles and connecting them to companies. Because for each successful candidate hire, he earns roughly $40,000. And like Ruben, there are roughly 200,000 such recruiters out there in the US. So this is a dilemma not just to recruiters, but also to business developers, B2B sales, and entrepreneurs. Personalized emails have a better callback rate, but take much longer, whereas cold emails are just quicker and easier. So combining it all, what we have is getting to the solution. Sean had these great words a few weeks back, which was like how AI will change the way humans work. Look at his LinkedIn. He has multiple posts on it, how AI augments human capabilities. And with that, our solution was twofold. We can scan someone's LinkedIn profile, and we can scan past conversations, pass them through a generative model, here in this case GPT-3, but we plan to make our own custom model. And then you can send out customized outreach emails. Let me show you how that looks like. So everyone here has looked at Sean's LinkedIn, but I generated this with his LinkedIn profile. So let's say Stanford wants to reach out to Sean because they want to hire this brilliant man. They reach out that, hey, your experience in teaching is awesome. And let's say like they want to use our product for this. So this is what the AI bot generated. So it can, as you can see, it can highlight your experience in teaching and your best practices in letting corporates develop their own innovation strategies and put them in the pipeline. So yeah, I've highlighted that in red, and this is all generated by our AI, just scanning Sean's LinkedIn profile. We, of course, did some customer validation. So we spoke to 20 customers who are recruiters and B2B sales folks. On average, they spend 6 hours a week in outreach emails. And the interesting part was 16 out of the 20 agreed to alpha test our product, and 6 out of the 20 are even willing to pay for it, either in terms of subscription fee or a revenue sharing model. Now let's talk about how we will make money. So we're following something known as a minimum winning game strategy. So we'll have 3 stages. So first, we're going to focus on our core customers, which would be recruiters. Once we finalize the product with them and we do a subscription-based pricing, we plan to move to a second stage where we sell our product to enterprises where they can really reach out to more candidates, more customers, and maybe even their internal chat communications. Then the third would be actually reaching out to B2B sales folks and even expanding beyond that. Here are some very conservative estimates that even if we have, after 1 year, 5,000 customers, we would be, and with 3 employees, which are the current 3 founders, we would be 400,000 profit, and so on and so forth. But yeah, very conservative estimates, and we have a whole detailed spreadsheet of how our costs would work. Of course, there's competition here. Mostly the competition is in the green spot because you want automation and personalization, which technology can solve. There are good startups out there like Jasper and Meet Alfred, which are actually not just automating, but also using AI to build better solutions. But what we promise to do is that by scanning your past conversations and your LinkedIn, our personalizations can be even better and more suited to the receiver and the sender. So yeah, thank you. And I'd really love any feedback that you can give. If you think you have knowledge in this domain, please reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn, and really looking forward to any feedback. Thank you.
All right, hello everyone. Sorry for the technical issues. We are Team D.Sole. D.Sole is an accessible and affordable wearable that reduces the risk of amputation by 95% using our early intervention technology. This improves the quality of life of diabetic patients. Now, I want to begin the presentation by looking down at our feet. We use these every day to chase our loved ones, to play our favorite sports, and gently thread our lives with our loved ones. Now imagine a life without one or both. It will clearly present challenges, like in the case of Kemi here, who suffers from extreme pain and mobility constraints. Sadly, this is the reality for 1 in 4 Americans with diabetes. Every 30 seconds, a person with diabetes loses their lower leg, which means by the end of my presentation, 10 people would sadly suffer an amputation. Of the 37 million diabetic patients in the US, 19 million will suffer from a condition called diabetic peripheral neuropathy, a condition in which people lose sensation in their foot, starting from their foot to the rest of the body. And 10 million of these patients will suffer from an amputation. Neuropathy causes ulcers, gangrene, and ultimately leads to amputation. It really doesn't have to be this way. The solution to this problem is D.Sole, which is 3 simple steps of prevent, predict, prescribe. We are saving lives. Our unique value proposition lies in our affordable and accurate insole, which allows for early detection and evaluation of neuropathy. It also produces an AI-based continuous foot analysis report and foot care information to empower patients to manage their ulcers. Our smart portable technology does not require a technician to operate and allows clinicians to intervene immediately. We aim to promote self-monitoring of neuropathy in diabetic patients. D.Sole consists of an insole connected to our app via Bluetooth. We also have an AI-based platform which generates a continuous report for clinicians to intervene. Both doctors and patients love our solution. And this is how our app functions. So how do you use D.Sole? You simply wear our insole. The insole will vibrate randomly at various frequencies. If you feel the sensation, you simply click on our mobile application. Using our system, various pressure points on the foot are tested, and a report is generated for the doctor. Over the past 2 weeks, we have worked on multiple iterations of our prototype. At D.Sole, we are makers and doers, and this is just a video of our prototype working. The insole is connected to an app where you can get information about when did you miss your vibration sensation. Over the past 2 weeks, we have also conducted customer discovery, where we conducted surveys with over 90 health providers. And health providers have attested to the fact that it's really difficult to diagnose peripheral neuropathy in its initial stages, and usually patients present with ulcers at a very late stage. 95% of our health providers have said that there is an urgent need for a continuous monitoring tool like D.Sole. This is our competitive analysis. We are proud to announce that we are the only portable and at the same time continuous monitoring device specifically for peripheral neuropathy, that is loss of sensation, and ulcers in the market currently. Our market size, I'm going to focus on the serviceable obtainable market here, is 23 million, which translates to a serviceable obtainable market in terms of dollars as 9.2 billion. Our business model consists of selling insole and replacement sensor strips, a subscription model for our app, and de-identified data aggregation, which can be used by companies to understand what kind of footwear solutions can we come up with for diabetic patients. Our sales distribution is a B2B2C model where we are focusing on clinicians, pharmacies, retailers, and also partnerships, especially through medical conferences and journals, so that we can reach out to our customers. We're also planning to sell it at e-commerce platforms where you can buy with your doctor recommendation. This is a product roadmap. We are in the process of developing our insole and app. We will also go for licensing and regulatory filing. We will fall under 510K of FDA, which will be right in our plans for launching our product by Q3 of 2024. This is our team. We have a diverse portfolio. We have biomedical engineers, we have healthcare analytics, and also people who are experienced in artificial intelligence. And our advisors are subject matters experts in neurology, neuropathy, and public health. We also have advisors on board who are experienced in marketing and business, and they're all helping us with our product development and business development. One of the amazing testimonials we got from our doctors is that D.Sole is going to help people stop the pain of neuropathy specifically, and at the same time, ensure that they don't get ulcers, which will improve their quality of life. And diabetic patients have said that they hate going to the hospitals 3 times a month, and that they would love a continuous monitoring system which you can use at home. Please reach out to us if you have any questions at all. That's our website link out there. You can scan it. And we are looking for collaborations and partnerships. So if you're interested, please reach out to me and we can have a conversation. And I just want to conclude by saying, let's take a moment to appreciate our feet. We obviously use them every day, and D.Sole will help you have happy feet and healthy lives. Thank you.
How's everyone doing today? That's great to hear. All right, so we're TOGAIL. I'm Harish.
I'm Will.
I'm Shrishti.
This is Mahir.
And we're here to be an esports concierge service. And what does that mean? Well, like you might at a hotel, a concierge will recommend you to great spots you can go to. We want to recommend high-end sponsors to some great grassroots tournaments that happen all across this country. We are a platform that connects high-end sponsors to grassroots tournaments. And the question is now, why grassroots tournaments? Well, the reality is there's daily esports tournaments happening that cover small prize pools, surprisingly small prize pools, and that reach out with a loyal audience of an 18 to 34 demographic. But still, sponsors don't want to participate in this. They don't want to advertise to these people because they're worried about the risk involved with participating in an esports program. So let's break that down a little bit. There's 2 sides to this. There's players who attend these esports tournaments, and sponsors will sponsor them. For players, there's almost 35 million people who have hardcore gamers, meaning they spend about 10 hours a week playing video games. And they usually have a higher disposable income too. But to find these games, they have to go through hundreds of different brackets, all over Discord servers, through Reddit pages, through Twitter, just to find a tournament that they can play in. And that's a headache. That can take hours to do for people who are within the environment of esports. Now imagine if they're not in the environment of esports. That gets way harder to find these small tournaments that have people coming out constantly. And even more, if they do know them, they don't know which person's gonna actually run a great tournament, which tournament organizer is gonna run a great tournament, and who's just gonna run away with their money. So in these 2 sides, it's difficult finding sponsors and players to come out to different tournaments.
So as TOGAIL, we are building a platform where we'll be connecting the sponsors directly to the tournament organizers, where sponsors can actually find verified tournament organizers and they can host their esports tournaments. So after that, we'll be connecting tournament organizers directly to the players, wherein players can find out where these tournaments are being organized, and they'll be connected to the sponsors as well. That will ensure that there's a transparency in the system, and that'll reduce the risk of the players getting paid. So we are working on building an end-to-end solutions wherein we'll be connecting sponsors directly to the players and eliminate all the middlemen.
So, there are some numbers that are probably going to surprise people in this room. There were $9.2 million in prize payouts in the last week in esports tournaments, with about 11% of that amount being under $30,000. That's a lot of small tournaments that are happening consistently that produce a lot of views and a lot of people getting engaged. Effectively, if we'd be able to capture this market, we'd be able to profit quite a bit off of it. These are some photos from grassroots tournaments. The top one in the center, a little bit more than grassroots, it's called DreamHack. That gets about like 10,000 attendees showing up physically to compete. But it was started by like a couple of teenagers in their school in Sweden. And it's grown into that, and they can turn that audience out in multiple different venues and cities around the world, and they do that consistently. On the bottom right, you have the largest Super Smash Bros. Tournament in Toronto, Canada. They get thousands of people showing up to that and watching it online. And then on the left, you have Toronto Valorant, which is another tournament that gets quite a few people. Now, there's already some incredible brands that are engaged in this space, actually. Brands like Gucci, Ford, Toyota, they've sponsored the very high end of esports, but they haven't figured out how to actually get to the average player who's going out and competing on a Saturday or a Sunday. We want to help to bridge that gap and make them feel comfortable while they're doing so. We've really assembled a great team here of individuals from a couple diverse backgrounds. I bring a good depth of industry knowledge. I built the online events ecosystem for a company called the Pittsburgh Knights here. They currently run tournaments for hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and we've had really good feedback on everything that we did. We conducted some customer analysis where we went out and we asked different tournament organizers around the country what they thought of the problems that we're trying to solve. Kate works for an entity called Wisdom Gaming. They're a white label tournament service, so effectively sponsors go to them to build different events in different communities based in Minneapolis. And Kate said that it's really tough for them, even though they have a localized footprint, to actually be able to access those local gamers and turn them out consistently because they just don't know that these tournaments exist or are happening. It doesn't matter the size of your prize pool if people don't know you're there. Which leads us into what my friend Xander, who is a local Pittsburgh-based Super Smash Bros. Tournament organizer, told us, which is reputation is everything in esports. It doesn't matter if you have a $40,000 prize pool if people know your event's going to be bad. So we want to solve that by verifying that the people who are actually running these events and getting the sponsors through our platform, they're going to run a good show. You're going to have a great experience, and you're going to want to come back. And then it'll grow into DreamHack eventually, where brands will have effectively the ability to get in on the ground floor. Charles Mitchell, he is the director of operations for an esports team based out in Kansas City called the Kansas City Pioneers. They've worked with groups like the Kansas City Chiefs, a lot of large game developers to host grassroots tournaments, and they've had really good feedback on their events. He started out in esports by running online Rocket League tournaments, which is like cars playing soccer, for $60 a week out of his own pocket. He was turning out 120 players on a weekly basis just to play in it, and additionally had viewers online. He then pivoted that to create actually a league that was designed to encourage women to get into gaming through Rocket League called the WCBC, which is now currently operated by the actual developer of Rocket League. And he then went on to work for the Kansas City Pioneers, where he's running large-scale events, and he started out running these small tournaments. There's a pipeline from these grassroots organizers to really high-end tournaments and really large turnouts in the hundreds of thousands of viewers and thousands of players. So we really hope that some of you might have a little bit of an interest in esports now after this, and thank you very much for your time.
If I can just interject real quick, we are very excited about this. So please, like, we can go off for hours. So if you want to talk to us about esports, please come up to us. We are more than happy to do so. Thank you.